Where do you draw inspiration for social dancing and to improve your skills? And what is the difference between a social and a party? Well, let's find out. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Zouk Nerds. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about our inspirations for social dancing and for improving your skills, as well as what is the difference between a social and a party. What are the things that we can do to improve our dancing and to find more inspiration, especially when we're not feeling that good about our dancing? And how to enjoy your socials and your parties and to fully embrace every dancing experience. So, let's go! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. My name is Alisson Sandi, and welcome back to our beautiful co-host, Gui Prada.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
In today's episode, we are going to be talking about something a little bit different. We haven't really covered this in a while, but we're going to be talking about inspiration. What keeps you and I and anybody in the community inspired to continue dancing? Not just taking classes, but thinking about actually going to social dance and have fun and spend all night just there in the bliss, in the moment, in the vibe. What do you do when you feel like, well, I have an evening free? Should I stay home and just Netflix? Should I go to the social? Or should I go and watch the newest movie in the cinema? What takes you from home to actually go to the social and have fun? And we'll start with more of an open discussion about this, but then I think we will eventually end up talking about as teachers as well. What inspires us as teachers, as somebody who works with this 24/7, 365, to actually go to a social and dance. So Guy, what about you? How inspired are you feeling right now?
Man, this is a very interesting, hard question because it's hard not to go immediately into the person who works with us and also have fun with the thing that they work with. When I think about my first days learning how to dance and going to the social, when I didn't work with it at all, it was completely my source of fun and joy and community and connection with people. The biggest motivation for me to go to the social was really to be around the people that I knew, that I liked, to listen to that music and to be able to move to that music with the people. You know, like the combination of music, people, environment, all those things and how it felt to be in that environment, how much empowerment there was coming from the possibility of being able to lead someone to the music, be musical, move around the space, you know, smile at each other, all these things. So I think the biggest motivation was related to the potential that each social held for me as a human being to feel certain things or to develop in a certain way. But there is always this thing that would keep bringing me back. And there is an aspect of fun related to it. Now, we have fun doing this, especially when we are, for example, dancing to a song that we really know and we really like with someone that we really know and really vibe with. There's so much fun. The endorphins and the dopamines are like, you know, going crazy in our bodies. So there is this aspect. And after started working with dance for a long time, up to like, I don't know, 2 months ago, that was still the case. And now more recently, I have been finding excuses to skip a social or two. You know, to let me stay home this time. I remember when I was in Brazil just now, and I realized that when I go to Brazil, I go social dancing very little because I think priorities have shifted and I'm focusing a lot more on rest and a lot more on spending time with people. So the motivation now that exists for me to social dance is maybe I need more. I need all elements to be combined in a way that are perfect for me to go out social dance. Because, for example, if I don't sleep well, or if I don't eat well, or if my shoe is not going well with that floor, or if it's too warm, or if it's too cold, if there is one element that is off, my whole body goes off. And I'm like, no, I want to go home. So, and it didn't used to be like that at all. And this is all very recent. And I've seen Messi, you are reacting so strongly there. So
Yes.
you might relate so much to all these things that I'm talking about.
Absolutely. All of the stars, the planets, and the cosmos, and the energies, and the pathways have to be open, basically. As we were briefing about this, I did say that for me to go social dancing on a day off, and right now talking as a teacher, I need to have another day off. Okay. And it's not because I don't like dancing. Please, dancing is my air, everything that I do 24/7. But it's because of that, because I love dancing so much, and because I do this 24/7, 365, I feel like I need one day to disconnect from it, to reboot, to restart. So one day I just want to do cleaning. Other day I just want to see grass. The other day I just want to go to the mall and do nothing, just walking and window shopping, or actually looking for something that I need. So when I get to have one of those days, then I feel like the other day I can go to a class, I can go to a social, I can go to anything related to dance. But now let's talk about as not being a teacher, but a lot of the times when students come to us and they ask this question, they don't understand what we're talking about. Because once again, for them, dancing is the place where they're disconnecting and they're recharging. And yes, we also get a lot of energy and passion and love and happiness from dance. But even if you love your job, you absolutely love your job, some days you just don't want to go to that street or that building or see the people that you see every day or talk to the people that you talk with every day. Sometimes you just need to unplug and talk to different people, see different places. So when I bring that to my students, then they kind of understand what I'm talking about. I ask them, would you be happy to catch up with your colleagues in your office cafeteria on your day off? That's kind of like what it is, going to a dance school for a social to a dance teacher who is in that school, in that environment, with that people almost every day. So once again, it's not that we don't love it. It's just a human need to sometimes disconnect, reset, reboot. So then when we come back, we can be fully there and fully present. That was one of the reasons why back in 2016, I quit dance and I stopped dancing for like about a year and a half. It was because for many, many years before that, I never took the time to unplug, disconnect, and recharge outside of dancing. Anything and everything that I did all day and every day, including on my days off, on my trips, was related to dancing or connected to dancing in some ways. So then after all of that happened, I learned that I have this need to do other things. And if I do that, I actually come back to dancing, I come back to the school, I come back to my office here to do my work, feeling fully energized and fully powerful, with so much inspiration to do more, to do bigger, to drive myself and the community to a better place. But before, because I didn't reset, I didn't unplug, I felt like I had to come back. I should come back. It was my duty to come back and to be there. And yeah, I just don't think it's healthy for me to feel that way.
Yeah. Probably in any ebbs and flows, right? Like with everything that we do and everything that we do so much and so often, there is a point that we do reach some sort of tiredness, or we reach a peak of how much we can extract out of that activity in the way that we used to. So there is a limit to everything. And with social dancing specifically, like Alisson is saying, is an activity that most people use as a way to unplug, as a way to, you know, let the day that they just had behind reset their bodies, reset their souls, and go home, maybe lighter, maybe feeling better, you know. And for the longest time, even right after teaching the class is over, social begins, I was able to very easily change the chip in my head to like, okay, no, poof, and now poof, the new chip. Social dancing, woohoo, let's go. More recently, though, I haven't been able to change the chip so easily, and sometimes not at all. And there is something interesting that it has been happening too, which is with the mind more fragile, we are more susceptible to get influenced by other powers in play that, before just let them go. So for example, I have been much, much, much more aware of how long I'm dancing with the same person. Much, much more aware. I had the awareness. I've always had the awareness of it. And I've always found very chill. I have always find myself very calm in this sense. I made a decision to dance 3-4 songs with most people to keep the ball rolling, to keep the social continuing, have more partner changes, and also to like be a reference point where people are looking to the teacher social dancing and seeing that, oh, they are changing partner after so and so, so maybe I will do that as well. Maybe that's the way of doing it, just to be like a reference point. And now I'm noticing myself being maybe 10 times more aware and becoming stressed about it. The other thing too is more like observing the social and seeing how the social is going on around me and noticing that affecting me more than it used to affect before, which makes me remember the days in which I was still a lawyer and I would go to the social and I would go completely into my own bubble during the time that I was social dancing, stay in the bubble, no matter what's happening outside. After the time is over, I get out of the bubble, life is good again, But now I notice myself feeling a lot more influenced by what is around and also comparing myself to the other people dancing. Like, oh, these are some stuff that I don't do or that I'm not knowing how to do. Should I learn how to do that? Is that the new way? So insecurity starts to rise and all these things. So the activity that once and for the longest time was something that I also used to take the stress out and reset my system, reset my nervous system, in some occasions is doing the reverse of that. So I'm realizing that I'm needing to be a lot more mindful when it comes to social dancing and establishing more self-preservation mechanisms for me to be able to, whenever I'm social dancing, I'm there at my fullest, So very recently, I would go to the social and I'm social dancing and I'm moving my body, but I'm noticing myself, observing myself from outside and not feeling my own movement. It's almost like a dissociated. I'm moving, I'm dancing to the music, I'm there, at the same time I'm not there. And it's a weird way of not being there. And even dancing with people that I really like to dance with, people that are normally, find so much joy, I was flat. And that was being my cue. Maybe it's time to go home. Maybe it's time to go home. And I would go home and life is good. The thing is that sort of dissociation started happening sooner and sooner during the social. And then making decisions of like, maybe I'll skip this one social. Maybe I'll stay home. Things that I never did. I don't normally skip socials. I was like we say in Brazil, a party rat. I am all of them. I like the social. I like so much being the social. But over time, I think the role of the teacher started to weigh heavier on my system, maybe more than I liked to admit, so maybe it's time for me to really sort of like maybe do or find some way to reset my system. And when I talk to assistants, for example, at District Zouk, that we have our team of people who assist in class who are not primary teachers and do not live the dance the way that I live, the Alisson lives, people who have their day jobs, people do their own thing. The fact that they are working in the background of what is required to make a dance scene go, that by itself generates an impact in their experience of social dance and their desire to social dance in the first place. And I remember for a long time, I advised them, I talked to them, because I was in this place that I was able to just change the ship. But now the time has come for me to, take some time and reflect on it. Like Alisson saying, in 2016, he completely stopped, So we got to this very high point that simply could not keep going. And now I'm starting to find this place or establish some boundaries, or I don't know what it is exactly that is needed. All of that said, with the disclaimer that I still love social dancing so much. And in the moments that I am there, it's, celebration of life, truly celebration of life. And the moments that I'm not there, because they feel so completely different from when I'm celebrating life, that it brings this concern. And I believe that some of you that might be listening have been through something like that, or know someone who went through something like that, where their motivation to social dance diminished, disappeared, or they lost track of it. Because it's also very easy to go into autopilot, master, like that. We just go because it's available, it's there, but we don't necessarily like, do I really want to go, or it'd be better to do something else and be fine with doing something else? Because we also need to fight the incredible powers of the fear of missing out. Yeah. So there is also that aspect as well. So for you, Matthew, what would motivate you to go out social dance for yourself as a social dancer, not as the teacher who has to go and dance with the students, or who is participating in an event and needs to attend the social of the event? What motivates you to go out and dance, to calibrate your own system?
To me, the human interaction and the human connection has always been the biggest thing, which is the main reason why I spent every free time that I had in the dance school that I started dancing with when I started dancing. Like, getting out of my house and going to the dance school was like the happy moment, because that connection with people, the interaction, the conversations was like the best thing. And that's what makes me go to a social. When I feel like going to a social is all about dancing, I don't feel like going to a social. So when I go to a social, I need to feel like I can socialize and I can talk to people and I can take my time to actually have a human interaction that is not dancing. That makes the full package for me. Now, when I feel like I'm going to a social, but I'm not going to have that, then I have to think about the people who are going, the person who is playing the music, organizing the social. There are many other layers, like maybe it's a friend that I want to support, and it doesn't matter if I'm going to have good dances or bad dances. I just want to support a friend or somebody who is visiting, or a DJ who is playing, or many people that are there that I want to dance with. But to me, the biggest thing that makes me get out of the house is really the human interaction, that sort of being there and talking, which is something that makes some people upset. Sometimes I'm at a social and I'm having conversations and socializing and enjoying that time, and people get upset that I'm not dancing. And that upsets me. That really upsets me, because it makes me feel like, wait, am I a person or am I a dancing monkey? Like, can you see me as a person? Can you treat me like a person and have a conversation with me? And then when I truly feel like social dancing, I'm not going to leave the floor. Trust me that. When I'm there, I'm dancing. But right now, I want to have a conversation. So please don't stop me from having a conversation to please your needs to be dancing, because your needs are different than mine. That's the moment, as you can hear and see and feel the energy, really upsets me. So yeah, just let me talk to people. That's all.
And that's a very interesting, I think that's very valid, because the way that I interpret it is like you're going to a hangout that has the opportunity, that has a possibility for you to social dance. But
Exactly.
the social dance, the Brazilian Zouk dancing, is one of the many things that you're gonna be able to do while you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's fair, and it's something that makes me think quite a lot, because normally I have always been social dancing. I've always
First
been
song to last song.
Yes, like never ending, and it has always been like that. Even when I was, a bolsista at Jaime Rocha, even when I was like going to the socials, I just remember that I would start, and at some point the music would stop, and I'm like, what happens? Just kept going, you know. And then remembering that when I'm not operating in this way, that I'm dancing all the time, when I'm sitting or having a talk with people, I'm constantly in my head, maybe I should go back to the floor. Maybe I should go back to the floor. So maybe it's coming the time for me to become, Alisson, to do what you do, and to do what so many people do, which is I dance a little and I talk a little and I drink a little and I watch a little and I dance a little, finding more balance. So maybe might be the thing for me and the thing for so many of us listening, finding this balance in that particular environment.
The thing that we need to be careful is with the should.
The should is the worst. The should, in nonviolent communication, they say that the should is the most dangerous word in the English language.
As soon as we are having a conversation or having some water or watching or just walking around and we think, I should be dancing, that is some external factor that you are allowing to pressure you into something. So that's what I do. I basically, when I feel like, why am I dancing? I stop. I go, socialize. If people are not happy with me, so be it. That's on them, not on me. And then I'm talking. And then I feel I want to dance. Then I go and dance. So I'm always 100% present in every dance. When I dance because I should dance, maybe the person is having fun dancing, but I'm sure that they can feel that I'm not 100% because I should dance. So I'm dancing because of this pressure that I put on myself to dance, or maybe other people put on me. So this is why I think it's important to be very, very connected to your inspiration and connected to what really made you feel that way. If I felt like stepping out and going and sitting down by myself and just scrolling a little bit on my phone, I need to listen to that, because there is a need for me to dissociate and disconnect and restart. And that's what I do. Like sometimes I just go outside and I'm just alone. Other times is with people. Other times I just want to sit and watch. I have no need to dance, no need to get out, no need to talk, but I have a need to watch. So yeah, that inspires me. Talking to people inspires me. Dancing with people inspires me. Watching people inspires me. And then sometimes when it's the extreme, I have to completely unplug, which is when I go outside and just spend some time on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, and that reminds me of me observing the OGs of partner dancing in Brazil, where they are just sitting, talking with each other, drinking their beers. They're really like having a hangout. And sometimes they stand up, dance, then go back, do it again. So there's this aspect of socialization that became more important than dancing non-stop, And this is something that I was talking to someone recently about the nature of the environment in which we dance Brazilian Zouk to these days. In Portuguese, there are two different words to refer to the social. We say baile or we say festa. Festa easily translates to party. Baile, I think would be the social. And yeah, kind of loosely translated to the social. And it's interesting because the other Brazilian partner dances, you go to a baile. And Brazilian Zouk, you go to a party, a festa. And the environment is really different because when you go to a baile, to a social, to other social dances in Brazil, it's not so dark, it's not so loud. There's often some chairs, some tables there. And there is a bar that you go, and then you pay, you get your drink, you get your small food. Something like
Yes,
that.
food. I was waiting for you to say that. There is food, people. There's food in Brazil socials. I love
There's
it.
some food, there's some coxinha.
Oh, dear. Sometimes outside of Brazil, there's barely water. You have to drink water from the toilet. Come on, people, let's upgrade.
Sometimes, exactly. Yeah. There was something that I didn't realize until I realized it by comparison. Oh, yeah. I would sometimes leave the firm and go to the social and be excited about the coxinha I was about to eat, or, the little thing I was about to eat at the social. So there is this difference in environments that is really interesting. And I only realized how much that was a thing again when I came back to Brazil and did the reverse cultural shock that I had. I realized that the environment's a little brighter. It's not lights fully on, people. It's just less dark, So it's a little bit more dim, but not so dark. Music was not so loud. So that invited me to be a little bit more calm in my system. There is a little bit more of a flow that allowed or created in me the sense that I could sit down, that I could drink my thing. When I go to a social that became a party, it's very different. It's almost like the environment, there was not much of an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation simply because it was too loud to have a conversation, So that change in environment is also something really interesting. And then I found myself gravitating more towards the smaller events, the weekenders, because they do have a feeling more of a baile, more of a social, and less of a party, less of a festa, which was something that I only started realizing that I was gravitating more towards it because of how social dancing felt like in these different environments. Less pressure, more, more time to talk, easier to have a conversation. So all these things I realized started having an impact. And now that I'm in this phase that I'm needing to restructure or revisit my motivations to go out to social dance because I want to have fun, because that's my source of joy and fun, because it always been since I started dancing, it has been sometimes reading something or watching something, and social dancing. They have been my source of joy. And I needed to find a motivation to social dance more than ever before now. And I'm realizing that all these little elements that are around it having more of an impact that they used to have. So I don't know if that impacts you at all, Mestre, this difference between a baile and a festa, a social and a party.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. I feel really happy to go to a social or to a baile when I feel like there's more than just dancing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I want to be there to do multiple things, not to just walk in and there's only people dancing or people waiting to dance. That to me just feels like I have no option. I have nothing else. This is a one menu shop. And I want to have a few options. I think that brings me the peace of mind to think I can take different flavors in the same location. I can feed my social person who likes to talk sometimes. I can feed my quiet person that just likes to sit and watch sometimes without being bothered. And I can feed my dancer person who loves to dance and loves to play with the music and to have that interaction while dancing and learning at the same time while I'm dancing, discovering things and testing things that I'm learning or practicing. So yeah, I definitely prefer the environments that provide all of that, which is not the case for festivals, for example. For festivals, most of the times, as soon as you walk into that main dance room, ballroom, large room, you just feel like it's dancing. And then you have to get out of that room to do anything else. So it's like, as soon as you walk into that room, you have to be ready to dance. It's a lot of pressure, because sometimes I want to walk into the room to talk to somebody. Sometimes I want to walk into the room to just watch and get inspired by people dancing and having fun and enjoying and playing. But yeah, I think when you are in the environment that you're mentioning, where there's some tables and some chairs and some hangout couch area, you can literally still be within that room, but in a different zone of that room. You don't have to remove yourself from the room. You can just sit on the couch. When you sit on the couch, you're in a different zone. It feels like that, but you don't have to completely disconnect.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, and there is this other aspect of motivation that can motivate you to go out to dance or to stay home, which is the dance itself. The dance itself. I have first-hand accounts, meaning people I talk to who lost their motivation to go out social dancing in Brazilian Zouk, mainly because they disconnected from the dance in the way that is danced right now, comparing to the way it was danced when they started dancing. And I have other friends too, again, first-hand accounts, that lost their motivation to go to certain events, to certain parties or to certain socials because of the way that the dance is being danced there. Music, I don't know, more power, less power, whatever it is, whatever is the reason. But sometimes the motivation to dance comes more from sensations that you associate with dancing. And then you tend to gravitate towards the places that you know you're going to go, and you're going to find the music, the people, the space that connect with the way that you associate with the way you like to experience this dance. So there are so many friends that are becoming way more selective. And there is one even recently that he came from coming to socials of an event. And he told me afterwards, I don't think this is for me anymore. I need to find something else. I mean, not the dance. He's not saying that the dance is not for him anymore, but that particular kind of event is not for him anymore because he couldn't find the reasons why he would go dancing in that particular environment. It's like, why am I doing this to myself? I simply don't vibe anymore with that environment that for so many years I vibed with. So there is some aspect too that I think, Master, which is the acceptance of the fact that things change internally in what brings you joy and how you want to enjoy the dance in your body, and be fine with that, and it's okay. It's fine. It changed. It might change back again, but it changed. So I think there is an aspect, at least talking in my case, of this need to be constantly adapting, to be constantly changing as things change. Otherwise, I will fall behind, or otherwise I will very easily fall into this place that I don't like this dance anymore. I'm going to stop completely. Like in the case of people that started dancing with me back in 2006, 2007, who are not dancing anymore at all, Brazilian Zouk, because they completely disconnected from the dancing. Like, I don't like this thing anymore. Zouk is weird now, so they completely disconnected. So there is this inherited aspect of, yes, let's adapt, let's change, while at the same time, there is also the things that you like at a certain point in time, and accepting that you like this thing more than this other thing, and that's okay. And then we can enjoy life like this too. So I think for me, it might be a combination of all of these aspects, allowing more socializing, allowing more doing other things in the environment where we are social dancing, and also being okay with the fact that I can be more selective with the music that I'm gonna dance to, with how long I'm gonna dance to that song, if I'm gonna go to that social or not. It's okay for me not to go to the social, all these things, more permission for more flexibility maybe, or more permission to be a little bit more selfish in order to be able to be like Alisson saying, to be more present, to be there. If you're there, because you're there, because all the elements aligned for you to be there in your fullness, in your full presence of your body and mind and soul and all the things.
That's right. Understanding your inspiration sometimes can be difficult if we don't even know where we're going or what we're doing. And that's kind of how I feel when I'm not listening to my own needs. I feel like I don't even know anymore. Why am I doing? What am I doing? But when I do let myself unplug, listen to my needs, then I can clearly see the things that sparks the joy and sparks the inspiration and sparks the wanting to be there and wanting to do more. So inspiration is definitely the people. The people in the community is everything for me. Even if it wasn't dancing, maybe if it was music or sports or something, I think we humans, we want to be part of a tribe. So that really is what inspires me. But then as a dancer, that brings another layer to me because it challenges my brain, it challenges my body, it challenges my mental health, it challenges so many things. And I'm just somebody who loves a challenge. I just always want to learn something. I want to feel like I'm progressing with something. I could not have a job that is very stable and very chill and very same every day. I couldn't live a life like that. So even when it comes to talking about inspirations and things that take me away from dancing, something that takes me away from dancing is the sameness. And it's not because it's dancing, it's because sameness in life for me just doesn't work. But again, it is something that it's on me to understand how when I'm feeling that, there's other problems. It's not the dance. It's not the relationship. It's not the friendship. It's something else that is kind of maybe blocking some of my sensitivities to understand what I'm going through. And then maybe dance feels a certain way. But dance didn't change. I changed. So I think we started this conversation thinking about what inspires us. But in the end of the day, I think everything inspires us. I think everything inspires us. And what we need to make sure that we do is to make sure that we're listening to ourselves in all of the other aspects to then be present, to feel the things that will inspire us or not inspire us, to feel the things that will bring us joy or not bring us joy, to make us want to go to a social or not make us want to go to a social. We need to be open to those feelings. I think that's really what I take from this conversation.
Be open to those feelings and be open to the fact that things change, open to the fact that what brings you into that environment where you're gonna dance change. And for me, in my case, for example, is being open to the fact or to the possibility that I can be around people, the people that I like, talking with them, not necessarily only dancing with them. Also hearing their voices, their stories, talking about things, not only would you like to dance, and go dance right away. So like more like an invitation for you to being in a group, being in that environment with the people that have been around for such a long time and have a conversation. Actually, this is something really cool because I was remembering once that we wrote like a welcome to Brazilian Zouk document manual thing for our beginner students at District Zouk.
Yeah.
And then we sent to the team for review. And then it came back from Revathi actually. She put a section there in the Welcome to Brazilian Zouk saying alternative things that people can do that person can do in a social that is not related to be only dancing, because as a beginner, their main insecurity is related to how little they know. And there's always this thing, I don't know enough, I know only 4 steps, as we are very tired of knowing. We talk about this so much. And she wrote a whole section in the document saying examples of things that they can do to enjoy that environment in a way that is not dance related. So maybe I need to go to that document and read it and read Revathi's suggestions, because they were so good. And I was like, oh my God, this is genius. And it's something that didn't occur to me at the time. Look, I've been doing this for such a long time, and these things didn't occur to me. And it's so simple and can be so powerful to keep you motivated, but to come back to the environment, to come back to that people, and maybe find a more sense of belonging to the place that you were learning and with the people that you were learning with.
Exactly. I think what inspires a community is the sense of belonging, the sense of being part of this tribe, and socializing in the social, maybe at a restaurant, maybe going to the park, maybe going to get some food before a social, or on a day off, going to anything. So I think if you are feeling stuck, or if your students are feeling stuck, if as an artist you're feeling stuck, try to reconnect with the community as a whole. Try to connect with all of those other things, because that's what happens when sometimes we just focus on one thing. You just focus on dance, that you become isolated from all of the other benefits that the community can bring. And sometimes we isolate ourselves, sometimes we get isolated. But yeah, I think that's a nice conversation and a nice open heart sharing of what it is that we also go through as dancers, teachers, and people. And we're loving having now an interaction with you guys here, as well as on our Instagram and YouTube page. Loving the comments and all the messages that you guys are sharing with us. So please keep in contact, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys very, very soon.
Thank you. Beijos, beijos. Abraços. Tchau.
Bye, everybody.
Tchau.